Welcome to the World Staffing Summit Award interview sessions with our top 100 staffing leaders to watch in 2023. My guest today is Peter, the Director of Consulting Services at Daley Associates. Thank you so much, Peter, for your time today. We're really excited to have you here and hear your thoughts on the industry.
Thank you so much, Jan. I'm excited about this whole organization and what you guys have put together. So let's dive into the questions.
Cool. Yeah, before we dive in, maybe we'd love to use the time for you to introduce yourself and Daley Associates. That would be great.
Excellent. So my name's Peter Kulturides. I'm the Director of Consulting Staffing and Legal Services for Daley Associates. I've been in the staffing industry for 28 years. Started out at Robert Half International, did 10 years there, went over to Account Pros, HRI, and Jenny M. Stone Legal, which is now Ronstad. And then from there, Mike Daley, who was our CEO, opened up Daley Associates. And for the past 18 years, Mike, myself, and my partners have really built a boutique staffing firm focused on accounting, finance, IT, legal, as well as life sciences through perm consulting, as well as retained search services. So we've built a nice brand here in the Boston, but we do service companies nationally, which has been great. We've built a great team with very, very low turnover. So we've got people that have invested and made a career at their desk, and it's really been satisfying and very satisfying. And for me, it's knowing that I've been passing along all the tools that I've built over the course of the past 28 years to professionals that work underneath me.
Cool. Thank you so much, Peter. That's really great to hear. And, talking about success and the story that you guys have, what are your thoughts for this upcoming year? What are your hopes and goals to achieve in 2023? Anything specific that you're focusing on?
Well, obviously with the marketplace being in flux, so we're focused in right now on the core for all of our teams and all of our different divisions, whether it's temp, perm, consulting, or retained search services. What we're really focused on is the quality, delivery of services, but we're focused in on the relationship base. Mike Daley, when he started Daley Associates, was all focused on, it's all about relationships. So we want to go back to the very basics, just like we did pre-pandemic, and we tripled our business in pre-pandemic, in pandemic, because we went back to the basics, went in and worked with the people that we have relationships with, and grew our business incrementally through COVID. We want to focus back down this year again, where we're coming into an evolving market where there's going to be probably some turbulence on the executive search side. I think there's going to be a great opportunity on the temporary and consulting services side. But with our permanent search side of our business, we're really focusing in on back to the basics, focusing on activity, and really focusing in on the different sectors that are staying steadfast through a changing market. And that's really what our focus is. And we're really working closely with our clients, and we're really listening to our candidates.
That's very great. And, talking about relationships and that being the, most important part of our industry, right? And there's a lot of talks about, what will technology do in the next years? How will that change? I know personally, I think that still the relationship is the most important part, but the technology will essentially, empower our teams to grow faster and better. Maybe what other opportunities do you see in the staffing industry today in the next years that maybe others don't agree on?
I still think, you brought up a great point with technology. Everyone's, you can see all the new websites and all these little portals that are popping up, and it's all about like, submit your resume and we'll AI match you and we'll get you in front of the right people. And we're going to make the hiring process so streamlined and super easy that we're going to save fees. Well, at the end of the day, after all my years of experience and working with, my CEO, Mike Daley, when I went to work for Mike 19, 20 years ago, it was about relationships. And still to today, the relationship's always going to win over the technology. Because for us, we're really focused in on how do we go into a sector, whether it's legal, accounting, finance, biopharma. Biopharma right now up in the Massachusetts and up in this area is shrinking.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of the funding being pulled back, and what we're trying to focus in on is how do we go in, price ourselves correctly in the marketplace from a consulting standpoint to be
Mhm.
able to provide the right expertise so that companies can manage their budget.
Mhm.
I think where the difference is a lot of people think that the AI and the technology will replace this, what you and I have, which is a
Mhm.
relationship, and it won't. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, when when a client calls and they need something technical and they
Mhm.
need it within a certain time frame, they're going to call someone who they trust, someone who's been battle scarred, driven, as all of us that are on this top 100 list have been. You know what?
Mhm.
That's what they're going to call, and they're going to base it on the relationship that they've built with somebody because they trust them.
Mhm.
So I think that when you look at technology versus relationships and trust and longevity, I
Mhm.
think that's always going to win. I do
Mhm.
think that there is a place, Jan, for technology.
Mhm.
I remember back in the day when I first started in the business, you pull out a file drawer and you flip through cards and you pull those cards out and you make the call and you write the note on the card in case the next person pulls the card. We didn't have fax machines back in that day. Well,
Mhm.
now we're text messaging candidates and we're emailing and businesses moving at the speed of sound, which is nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's good for clients. It's good for candidates.
Mhm.
But I think the trust and the relationship is always going to beat out the technology component.
That's really great insights. And talking about the client's expectation and client experience, this year's staffing summit was really focused on the client experience becoming increasingly important. What are your thoughts on like the shift that clients will expect, and their anticipation in the future when working with organization like yours?
Sure. So, Jan, I think one of the biggest things that myself and my business partner, Brian Daley, did at Daley
Mhm.
Associates at the pandemic, when the beginning of the pandemic hit, we went back and what we wanted to do was understand the market, understand what happened, understand how we can service people, even if it didn't benefit us. So, if you were a candidate, we picked up the phone, called you, and said, "Hey, what's going on?" We were listening to you. We were
Mhm.
offering great advice. We did that with our clients as well. We listened to how they were restructuring their business. And I think from a transaction standpoint, clients want to have somebody who is engrossed into their business practice and is really knows what they do, how they do it,
Mhm.
so that they can be effective or offer advice from the outside looking in from a hiring standpoint. And I think that that's really important. I think where Daley and Associates, you know, really has exploded over the past 3 to 4 years is in the client is in the client satisfaction and in the client the delivery of services to the client. My
Mhm.
thing is this is we if we understand our benchmark of consultants that are available, consultants coming into the pipeline, temporary people who are available right now, our delivery of service to our client can be lightning fast and it can be seamless. And
Mhm.
what we do is we mitigate down the risk in the marketplace of losing a temporary, permanent, or consultant to someone else because
Mhm.
we are fully engaged on the candidate side, but we can deliver a high level quality of service. And then I think what it is once you onboard somebody, whether it's temp, perm, or consulting,
Mhm.
it's the follow through.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
the personal component to the candidate as well as to the client. And I think where we really, and I think we've always done a very good job of it because Mike Daly is really focused in on that when we hired anybody over the past 18, 19 years. But I
Mhm.
think in the past 4 or 5, I'd probably say the strong 4,
Mhm.
we really focused on that delivery
Mhm.
because you've got a marketplace that has changed with working remotely. You've got a
Mhm.
marketplace where you couldn't go out and sit down and go face to face with clients and candidates. So
Mhm.
now everything's this, it's via video. Now it's loosened up and we can go see clients and candidates can come into the office, but there's still a lot of people working remotely. And in
Mhm.
understanding that dynamic and then how that dynamic's going to really aid and abet your client and how you're going to put your people into that scenario,
Mhm.
having that full understanding and a speed to delivery of quality service is really where we've set ourselves apart from everyone else.
Thank you so much, Peter. Really great insights for the industry, and really great goals for this year. I think the audience will really appreciate your learnings. We appreciate your time today and hope to welcome you back next year. So thanks so much, Peter, for joining us and for this interview, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.